Namaste. I am Dr. Pallavi Kasande. I welcome you all to this module. In the last module, we discussed physiological and psychological aspects of old age. This module is an introduction to counseling initiatives generally taken all over the world in elder care. We have seen that growing population of old age people is a concern today because there is a challenge to ensure their physical, mental and neurological health. Actually, aging is a natural process. However, like in adolescence phase, there are transitional changes. In old age also, we find many physical and mental changes with which these oldies find difficult to cope up. They require guidance, support, though they do not understand this fact. Geriatric counselling helps elderly people to manage their emotions, find few new sources of enjoyment and meaning. It also aims at helping family members or caretakers in assisting elderly people in dealing with their stress and illnesses by developing appropriate communication with them. Hence, the definition of geriatric counselling is, it is a process that offers assistance for older adults to cope with the difficulties that they may experience in their transition periods from middle age to older years. Geriatric counselling is focused on elderly individuals with complex problems and includes the usage of an interdisciplinary team to improve their functional status and quality of life. Geriatric counselling is focused on elderly individuals with complex problems, and it includes the usage of an interdisciplinary team to improve their functional status and quality of life by comprehensively addressing intellectual impairment, immobility, instability, incontinence and iatrogenic disorders. If any psychologist or counselor wants to enter into this field, then there are some prerequisites or principles they need to understand thoroughly. Firstly, the counselors or psychologists or even caregivers should take appropriate training in areas of geriatrics. The training must begin with basic knowledge of the aging process, such as normal versus pathological aging, fact versus fiction and stereotypes. There is no single characteristic that accurately describes older adults. Counselors should be well versed in the physical, mental and emotional aspects of older clients that are built upon a foundation of respect, empathy and support. Secondly, the counselor has to understand the general timeline of these old people. What has happened in the past, not only in personal or family life, but on social and political scenario. A general awareness of these events and their consecutive effect on elderly life may help the counselor in identifying and understanding client's current stage of life. Then counselors need to understand the system in which the client lives, so that they can recognize better and appreciate the corresponding challenges which may arise due to old age and family adjustment issues. In India, mostly children take care of their old parents. Nevertheless, elderly always have a worry of becoming a burden to their family. Older adults who live independently in the community experience different challenges than those living with family or with the help of a caregiver or an assisted living facility or a long term care facility. Hence, it is important to understand the current lifestyle of these oldies. There are different types of geriatric counselling. First, supportive counselling. It is most often used with elderly who are living alone and so they are facing difficulties in day to day life. Sometimes they just need some help in coordinating different tasks. So, Supportive counseling is to give temporary support and help the elderly to gain strength and the resources to cope, but not to create a chronic dependency upon the counselor. Second, confrontational counseling. Sometimes it happens that old people take some decisions which create trouble for them as well as for their family members. Counseling gently points out to the client his or her negative actions. The counselors guides the counselee into seeing the mistakes committed by them or others. Counselor helps them to realize their hurt and the hurt that might have been caused to others because of their decisions. Here the efforts are made to keep everyone from guilt, frustration and anxiety. Counselors try to make all family members understand the elderly's condition and perspective. Educative counseling. It focuses on teaching the client and his family members physical issues, mental issues, social issues, spiritual issues or even with adjustment issues of elderly people. Often this counseling is needed in case of some diseases like cancer, dementia, Alzheimer's or Parkinson's. Informal counseling. It takes place in a casual setting, perhaps on a hospital visit or during an informal home visit. The counselor may be drawn into a conversation where his or her help might be asked for. Informal counseling at times is also considered as incidental counseling, but it may not be of therapeutic purpose always. There are cultural issues in geriatric counseling in country like India. In India, the needs, problems of elderly people may vary with geographical and cultural differences. Their socio-economic status, cultural beliefs are responsible for their mindset they possess at old age. There are some common cultural issues which may affect old age perspective. They are: the first one is purpose in life. Not only in India, but universally in all philosophies, the goal of life is to believe, to search the purpose of this life. The child from his school period learn to understand the purpose of life by doing several social art activities other than school education. They understand work, their gender roles, social relationships and society as a whole to get realization of who am I. Every one of us undergo the conflicts between societal demands and personal desires. In addition, everyone tries to set a personal goal to resolve these conflicts. These personal goals are estimated as the sole principles that a person in his or her later stages evaluates self and measures that how far he or she attained it to a level of satisfaction. While doing geriatric counseling, the counselor needs to understand this process for every old individual, that how far he or she thinks that he has achieved and what are the other things which are still left, and more importantly how far the person is happy with his life. The second point is respect for elders. Still today in most of the families, especially in Indian families, elderly are engaged in the role of advisor, like for food preferences, educational guidance, economic calculation, decision for journey or for medicine, home remedies, etc. But at the same time, the intergenerational initiation of technologies and changes in joint family system have changed the outlook and aspiration of younger generation. It has caused a critical damage to elderly role in families. In most scenarios, their words are invalid and considered illogical. This fast refraction in culture pushed the elderly from the forefront of family to isolated corners of the family. The counselors need to be empathetic if they find such phenomena. Third is change family roles and perception of elderly people. Nuclear families have influence on goals and priorities of family today. The expectations and gender roles of young people have changed. Today's old people are finding it difficult to accept openly new phenomena like single parenting, live-in relationship, homosexual relationship, as well as changed sexual orientation among youth and increased proportion of divorces. The new generation is finding its own way to accept the reality. However, the oldies are more worried about this generation and feeling helpless as they are not finding any solution to this. Hence, along with counseling and guidance, there is growing need to have institutionalized efforts to overcome these geriatric, mental and social issues. We should not forget that elderly make important contributions to the society. For example, as grandparents, they can help in raising grandchildren. If they are physically fit, then they can do volunteering in many social activities such as caring for the sick, administrative work in big residential complexes, looking after family businesses. Also, they can do work like translating experiences, culture and religious heritage. Therefore, increasing awareness about geriatric counseling for in a way rehabilitation of old age people is essential. These programs can create a climate that nurtures such ideas. Awareness also needs to be spread for positive engagement among clinicians, researchers, caregivers and elderly people with mental illnesses, so that they can take help in time. There is a felt need to expand the teaching curriculum across all the disciplines. These subjects should be taught to general physicians, psychiatrists, psychologists, nurses, attendants and for psychiatric social workers also. Also, there is a need to increase seats in geriatric medicine specialty and geriatric psychiatry super specialty courses and developing programs for sensitizing general physicians and health workers for screening and appropriate referral. There is an urgent need to establish geriatric centers of excellence catering to a multidisciplinary approach, such as home based care programs can be another way to provide support for elder care. For that, adequate training programs for family members and creating support groups for educating and advising family caregivers are important strategies. Current status of old age related illnesses show that there is also a need of paradigm shift in the caregiving model too. The training should be given beyond the current simple curative interventions to encompass long term support and chronic disease management. Adequate services for establishing continuity of care beyond hospitals to community level in the form of daycare centers, respite care facilities, halfway homes and old age homes. Now, let us understand the current status of old age homes in India. There are two different approaches towards these old age homes. On one hand, people consider old age homes is an option to live a contented life where old people can find their solace and live with community. On the other hand, old age homes are not perceived positively and considered as the option mostly selfish option, chosen by children for their parents, where children are not ready to take responsibilities of their parents. In India, especially in urban area, we find families where children are staying abroad and their parents are staying alone. and for better care, children have chosen the option old age homes for their parents, especially when there are illnesses and caretakers are needed. In rural areas, the condition of old people is similar, but the only difference is their children are in urban cities and not necessarily in foreign countries, but oldies are in villages and they are alone. The third scenario is children are staying separate and are having extended families. That means grandparents are staying separately, but in same complexes or in same area. So, only for festivals and celebrations they come together and stay together. In all cases, if grandparents are having some physical or neurological diseases that we have discussed in the first module, initially children take care, appoint caretakers, but after certain point choose old age home or any care home where organized caring is given. Apart from this basic care, these old age homes also conduct few activities. They celebrate festivals at old age homes, arrange various entertaining programs for oldies and try to make their life happy. Now, let us understand respite care facilities. Caregiving for an elderly and ill family member is a demanding job and no one is equipped to do it alone. Finding respite care services can provide a vital break as it provides temporary relief for a primary caregiver. Respite care can take place in your own home, at daycare centers or at residential or nursing facilities that offer overnight stays. So, it can be from few hours to few days. When someone is ill at home, family members can't go out for vacation. Taking care continuously is not an easy job. Respite care provide family members this support. It can prevent caregivers from becoming exhausted, tired and burnout. We have to remember here that taking such kind of support and doing something for maintaining our health, that means caregivers' health, is not selfishness. People are often feel overwhelmed by daily grind of caregiving and it is quite obvious. But it does not mean that you do not love your parents or grandparents. Fatigue stops us from getting connected with the ill person. A break is needed to recharge your batteries and to feel more energetic, focused and refresh about your caregiving role. You may even be able to pick up tips on new ways to tackle common problems you face as a caregiver. Respite care helps to make the caregiving journey more enjoyable and rewarding experience for both you and the loved one in your care. Now, let us have a look at daycare centers for elderly. Daycare center for older adults is a planned program and activities in a professional care setting environment. These programs are often designed for supervised care for old people or those are alone at home when all family members go out for work. These daycare centers enable seniors to socialize and enjoy planned activities in group setting. They can also provide emergency services if needed sometimes. There are various types of daycare centers. While one type of center focuses mainly on social and recreational services with a few health related and personal care services. Another type will provide more comprehensive medical and therapeutic services. Some centers will offer specialized service for adults with a specific health condition such as dementia or a disability. Adult daycare centers tend to operate during daytime hours, Monday to Friday, although some services may be available in the evenings or only at weekends. Hence, the main purpose of these centers is not only respite care or giving a break to caregiver, but to provide older adults an opportunity to get out of the house and receive both mental and social stimulation as well as the continuing care they need. Residential care homes for dementia. Old people with dementia or Parkinson's need more care and support as they are progressive diseases. Residential care homes are specially designed homes for such oldies. We find the staff at these senior care centers is trained to assist the residents from dementia and Parkinson's disease. They provide 24/7 support and individualized care focusing on activities that stimulates brain and enhance lives by making each day meaningful, fulfilling and deep sense of belonging. Though all these programs are a good option for old people, counseling for family members is often more required. The most difficult decision for family member is to move their loved one from a warm, familiar environment to such care home or old age home which is unknown to their old parents. Though the home is surrounded by recognizable caregivers, but moving to such homes means the end of life. It is very painful for family members. Hence, constant support, feedback and inputs are necessary for family members. These residential homes are based on happy and respectful aging concept. It is a community living for old people. Last but not the least, in geriatrics, there is counseling facility for primary family caregivers also. Doing something for others is often easy, but when it comes to your own parents, it becomes difficult to see them dying every day. One cannot afford trial or error in his or her approach, hence family members are often too alert in caregiving activities, too stressed, but at same time too curious about health updates. In dementia or Alzheimer's disease, when family members find their parents losing their control, forgetting their names, sudden weight loss or sometimes aggression, it becomes difficult for them to take care while not getting disturbed. Hence, at one point it becomes important to appoint someone at home as caretaker or to find out a proper residential care home for beloved old ones, but it is essential for family caregivers. To conclude, geriatric counseling is an area where formal and informal assistance is provided to older people to maintain their physical, mental and social well-being along with necessary institutionalized care. Remember, taking organizational help for our old parents is not selfishness. Today, old age homes, daycare centers, respite care centers and residential care centers offer a professional service to families and their elderly people. Taking help from such organizations is important as they provide integrated services for us. Old age population is growing all over the world. Hence, today we all have to think for our parents, which can give us a solution for our life in future. Thank you.